Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome back to YouTube. My name is SeaRaptor, and today we're bringing you a little bit of 1v1 action with a couple of battle reports smashed into one video. This time from the bridge of Tier VIII Premium German cruiser, Prinz Eugen. Now, it's been more than a year since we had access to 1v1 matches in World of Warships. This was originally tested, I want to say in late 2019, maybe into early 2020, whatever patch cycle that was. And I freaking love this format. We need this more often. Unfortunately for me, this Brawl, this 1v1 Brawl session happened last week while I was on vacation. And I was only able to sneak in about 10-12 games of it on the very, very last night of the Brawl. But as predicted, it was a ton of fun. Prinz Eugen is my go-to boat for these formats. She is a fabulous mix of punchy guns, sturdy armor, heal, AA. You can take the Hydro if you want. You get your choice, of course. Just there's so many things to like about this ship. But with all of that said, this engagement on Sleeping Giant is one of my favorites. I'm not going to spoil it for you, because this is probably the best game I played out of the 12 or 13. This is a fabulous engagement with an incredibly cunning and very capable Odin player, and I wanted to showcase it to you guys because it might be changing my thought process. For starters, I want to point something out. Prinz Eugen has 45,000 hit points as a heavy cruiser. The Odin you see across from me has only 53,000 as a battleship. So ordinarily, when you come into a match in an Eugen, you are super disadvantaged on health against a battleship. Your equalizer, of course, is your torpedoes. Now, Odin, on the other hand, of course, Odin. I'm upside down on health, but the Odin is the lightest on HP battleship that you can take in this tier. So it's not as large a gap as, say, when I'm up against a Massachusetts or a Tirpitz, which are easily the most popular battleships I run into against this format. In fact, I've gotten pretty good at beating Tirpitzes, but Massachusetts remains my real boogeyman in this format. I was kind of just lucky and fortunate, let's say, that this particular run of games that I had, I didn't run into, but I think maybe one or maybe two Massachusettses, and I know I beat at least one of them. Now, this Odin player has done something that most battleship players don't do in Brawl, and I want to point it out because it's the right play. When I'm coming at you with an Eugen in a battleship, buddy, you gotta kite. You gotta run, right? You cannot let me get close enough to bring my torpedoes to action. If you charge me, I don't care if you're in a Tirpitz, if you charge me, I will win. It's almost a 99 times out of 100. Unless I screw up, I'm gonna win that engagement. So, this Odin player, to his credit, realizes, look, there's no need for me to be out here. I have a health advantage. I have my secondaries. He can't cap as long as he's spotted, and it's not like I'm going to hide with an Eugen. So what does he do? He makes the correct move, and he backs off. Now, he's trying to torpedo me. You saw one salvo go by earlier. You saw this one go by now. It's the right move. Like, why not? You never know when your opponent's going to blunder into something. He doesn't know if I have Hydro. I don't usually take Hydro in Brawls. I like to take defensive fire so that when I run a carrier, when I meet a carrier, I can absolutely make him cry, and you're going to see that in a minute. But now I'm realizing, it's starting to dawn on me, what's happening here. He's going to kite me forever. So I'm like, okay, I got to back off. I've got to back a cap to put pressure on him. He's had HE loaded for a bit. I know going into this turn, I'm going to probably take at least one bad salvo, and there it is. I was hoping for better. I thought, he's only got a 20-second reload. I thought, maybe I can get the turn off before his guns reload. No. Now, my thought process is I want a double cap, right? I want to sit in this nice little narrow window here where I can work on both caps at once and pick up both caps, and then the game's on a clock at that point, right? Unfortunately, he's going to slow down. He's too smart to let this happen. See him? He's kind of starting to pull the brakes a little bit, and I'm not moving fast enough. My detection range is like 11 and almost 12. So I'm not anywhere close to being out of detection range, and I'm already like not firing, like thinking I'm trying to plan for this, and it's just I'm still 2 kilometers shy. It's not happening. Realizing this is not going to happen, and if I sit out here I'm going to die, I put the engines on. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to settle for 1 cap. So we cut over, and we're gonna work the B cap here. I've got room to sneak out of detection range off to the north, and hopefully make this work. But you see there, his secondaries alone will keep me from capping. He's playing this engagement to perfection, and I'm making some mistakes. This is about my 6th game, I think, of Brawl, and maybe not warmed up yet, maybe not fully engaged, I don't know. But ordinarily, when I meet battleships in this mode, they just come right at me, and I'm like, all right, let's do this, buddy. I don't care if you're Massachusetts. If you let me survive the torpedo range, you're probably out. However, this guy, like, no, he does the exact correct thing. He tries to kite me. Now, I do bag a cap here, finally. 10 minutes remaining in the match, and I'm just now starting to tick up some points. But as you can see now, the maneuvers I've made, the tactical choices I've made, I am significantly upside down on HP. I've only got 2 remaining heals, and he has about almost a 3-to-1 health advantage on me at this point. Now, he's realized that he can't sit out there forever. And my thought process is, okay, I'm going to go over here and try and sneak into this little island gap over here. There's a little place where you can sneak in and cap A. Kind of right snuggled up next to this island over here. The mistake I make is that my thinking is I want to cap A and then I'm going to drive into the A cap. And that way I have a lead, and at that point he can cap B, and even if he sits in A, and I'm not sure what I was thinking, but the bottom line was I'm trying to force him to come to me, right? I'm trying to force him to close the gap. No, I can't let him kite. If he kites me all day, I'll lose. I've got to force him to close the gap and come to me so I can torpedo him and end this game. All right. I do that. How do I do that? I do that by taking the lead, as I have by picking up a cap. All right, so we've pushed him back. Now he's coming back in, and I'm realizing, oh, crap, he's doing the right thing at the right time. He's going to come back in. I'm not going to have time to cap. So I continue making mistakes, all right? I'm going to snuggle up to this island. My brain is like, snuggle this island and go bow on and just sit there. No, that's not what I should have done. Yes, this angle is fine, because from this angle, he's going to catch a glimpse of me. You see it right there. I'm detected, but he is going to lose sight of me just for a little bit as I kind of use the islands to break LOS. So what I should have done was continue this turn, head straight into the double cap zone, bow on to him for a bit, let him get his salvo in, and then turn into this area on my right and finish capping A. Unfortunately, what I do is I pull the brakes, and I'm like, oh, I got time to cap. No, I don't, dummy. So again, you see, I'm continuing to make just bad tactical choices here as my opponent keeps playing the game the smart way. Now, he's loaded the HE. He's realized that the bow on his AP is not going to pen me through the bow. He's going to maybe get some superstructure hits. It's just not significant. All right? And right now, I should be switching back to the AP, and I'm still firing the HE, thinking, oh, I'm going to get him to light on fire. He's popped another heal, so the health advantage is, well, we're back to about 2-to-1 now, because I've also popped a heal as well. But I realize now he's closing with me. He doesn't seem inclined to turn. This is my moment. This is it, guys. Here we go. Full speed ahead. Continue to fire AP at his broadside, because full pins of those 8-inch AP shells will absolutely hurt him. Alright, so now, he doesn't seem to have his hydro on yet, which is a little surprise to me. I'm surprised I'm not, maybe he does have it and I'm just not getting the notice, I don't know. But either way, we got to go for this, and I've got to try and protect my torpedo launchers. I'm going to need them all. Here we go. Alright, so, I'm going to give him a narrow spread, I'm going to short it, and then I'm going to give him a wide spread. This is intentional. I'm trying to just cover my bases here, because I don't know how, I know he's going to maneuver away from me. He's demonstrably proven that he's not going to sit here and eat these torpedoes. You see there, I'm on fire. My last heal is just about to come ready. There, he finally does blow away one of my torpedo launchers. I need 2 of these to land. Come on, he's going to take 1, but not the other. I'm going to pop my heal here as I try to get my starboard launchers into action. But unfortunately for me, what's going to happen, he's going to put some HE right into my side and wipe me out. So that was just a really, really fun engagement. I really enjoyed that one. Now the fun continues. Now the fun continues with this game. Same map with this game against an enemy Kaga. I talked fairly extensively about this game on my stream this week, and because this game, to me, is almost like a counterpoint to a game that Zoot posted on his channel, which is a Baltimore versus an Enterprise. Now, yes, I realize we're dealing with totally different ships on a totally different map situation, but want to explain to you how you beat a carrier 1v1 in a Brawl, okay? Especially when you've taken a ship like Prinz Eugen that has a heal and pretty solid AA. Like, you've got all the tools you need, so let's talk through it. Now, how is the carrier going to beat you in a 1v1 Brawl? He's going to beat you by killing you. How are you going to beat the carrier in a 1v1 Brawl? You're going to beat him by capping him out, okay? Carrier player's not going to come near a cap. He can't risk his hull, okay? And the odds of you ever running him down and winning are very, very, very small, unless he just completely screws up. So, what am I going to do? I have to rush the caps and get points on the board and put a timer on the game. Now, this Kaga player realizes correctly that his most important weapon against me is his torpedoes. One of the things you need to make sure you understand when you are playing an engagement like this, or when a carrier's in the game, which armament is it that carrier has that is a serious threat to you? In this instance, for me, it's the torpedoes, okay? The bombs and the rockets can hurt me. Yes, they can, but they're going to cause some chip damage, maybe light a fire or two. It's not going to be critical damage. It's going to be that slow, steady, somewhat consistent damage over the course of the game. So, I'm going to save my defensive fires for the torpedoes, in general, at least early on. One of the mistakes that I watched that game on Zoop's channel, I'll put a link down below if you haven't seen it. The Baltimore in that game was too conservative with his defensive fires. He waited too late to use one against the AP bombs, which is what ultimately took the biggest chunk of his HP away. So, you have to understand going in what armaments, what planes it is that are a threat, and save your defensive fires and your cooldowns for dealing with those. So here we go. We're a couple of minutes in now. I'm finally stepping onto the B cap, making my way over here to the double cap zone. Notice yet I have taken 0 damage. None. Okay, the bomb's got an engine in cap, no big deal. I didn't have to repair it because I do have last stand on this ship, but I did. Probably a mistake if I'm honest, because if I'd eat one of these torpedoes and taken a flood, I'd be stuck with it for a while. As it is, this Kaga player keeps trying to get cutesy with his drops. He's trying to drop me bow on to hold me in a course and then try and cross-drop me, and he keeps completely messing it up. He's just not doing a very good job of this. Plus, I'm slaughtering his planes. My AA is strong enough that I'm at least forcing him to make probably suboptimal targeting decisions, or at least, quick launch or quick drop or whatever you want to call it. We've capped B, so we put a timer on the game. Now you see there we're 5 minutes in ticking, as he's going to bring the bombs back. A lot more of these bombers are going to survive than I would like, but once again, he's going to get absolutely nothing out of this drop. Nice, pretty straddle there. Doesn't even get an end cap that time. So, he's, now I'm in the other cap. So, watch what's going to happen here. 1 cap is nice, but 2 is amazing for putting a timer on this game. He's going to miss me yet again here. I'm going to turn right there. He's going to get yet another engine in cap and a reset, but that's all he's going to get out of it. And now he's starting to get a little, what is happening? Why haven't I hit you yet? Yes, that's right. Almost 4 minutes into this game, he hasn't actually damaged me yet. Now, I do have a non-zero number of fighter kills, so you have to take the plane kills you're seeing with a grain of salt. But once again, he comes back with the torpedoes. I make sure to put up my fighter plane. Something else I see a lot of players making a mistake of, right? Putting your fighter plane up too late doesn't do you any good. You have to have it basically up and available when the bombers are on their way in. If you don't, you ain't gonna make it. But now with the double cap, look at the timer. We're under 2 minutes. This guy has 2 minutes to kill me. He hasn't damaged me yet, and I still have all of my heals and several charges of defensive fire left to go. This guy's gonna struggle. But this is how you beat a carrier in a game like this. This is how you beat a carrier. Now, some of this is going to be dependent on ship choice. And I do talk about this. If you decide to take in a Sashio into your ranked game, you draw a carrier, into your 1v1 game, and you draw a carrier, guess what, buddy? You're screwed. Okay? You're in trouble. You might be able to double cap him, but chances are, ultimately, he has a very strong chance of winning that engagement, okay? But if you take a cruiser or a battleship that has moderately decent AA, especially if you take a cruiser with a heal, you ought to be okay, right? Eugen is a great choice. Odin is a great choice. Almost any battleship is a good choice, okay? And then, whatever, cruisers, what do you got for heals? We got Eugen, you've got Albemarle, you've got Atago, or Atago, however you want to pronounce it. All of these would be good choices for this engagement. Atago's AA is terrible, but the heals are what's going to keep you in the game, right? Atago is skinny, she's maneuverable, she can dodge decent amount of salvos. All of these kinds of picks for cruiser picks are good options. He's under a minute. This is not going to happen. I'm just going to keep slaughtering planes as I drive towards him. I'm not going to kill this guy, but it doesn't matter. He is not going to kill me in time. He's barely going to meaningfully damage me in time. Right? So far, he's about 8,000 points into my health pool, and he's under 30 seconds to play. So, I know there's a lot of people that hate carriers in 1v1, and I get it. And I'll admit that this is a bit of an odd engagement in the sense that the Kaga is at a disadvantage here, in the sense of my A is pretty strong, and so on and so forth. And I have heals, and so on. But some of it is understanding how you're going to beat the carrier. When you go back and you watch that game on Zoop's channel, I'm going to rag on this just a bit. The Baltimore player that he highlights still almost wins the game, right? But he makes some really bad tactical choices along the way about his position, which cap he goes to. He doesn't ever try for the double cap. He's too conservative with his defensive fire, etc., etc., etc. Whatever ship you play in a 1v1 brawl, you have to go in with a game plan of how you're going to deal with a carrier. And you also have to understand that if you're going to beat that guy, you're going to beat him by capping out. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed those two games. They were a lot of fun to play. I love 1v1 Brawl. I cannot wait for this format to return. In the meantime, wash your hands, be safe, and I'll catch you next time.